So.
I had a quote. Remember I told you I pulled a couple of quotes?
Oh, please.
This is, well, you'll tell me what it's from because I didn't put what it's from. You said it was 2003. I was new to both Los Angeles and the adult entertainment industry. I'd grown up Mormon in the suburbs of Virginia and Minnesota and moved to Los Angeles to become an actress, but I could never get past the first auditions. I realized, looking around at the other wannabe actresses in the waiting rooms with their Brazilian blowouts, perfectly manicured nails, thick satin-finished business cards. They had something I didn't, capital to spend on being gorgeous, more gorgeous, confident versions of their already beautiful selves. So I started call girling, doing massages at upscale hotel rooms in Beverly Hills, nude modeling for magazines to make cash. From there, it was a smooth jump to adult entertainment where I could make more doing video. It was a non-traditional detour. I make $50,000 to invest in myself. Mm-hmm. Did you make the 50 grand?
I came really close to making the 50 grand. So what happened was, I believe I was at like $42,000.
What?
Yeah, and that was in like 3 months of work.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't spend the money. Like, I was very disciplined about putting the money away. And then one of my call girl clients, his name is Manny, and he lived in Simi Valley. And I went out to meet him, and he gave me meth. And I instantly
Crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
Yeah.
And I fell in love. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I felt like Wonder Woman. Like I signed up for so many random classes. Like I became a real estate agent because I had all this time to like study. I didn't need to sleep, so I like studied to be a real estate agent. And I was like not interested in becoming a real estate agent, right. But I was like, this would be cool.
Yes.
And it made me feel so powerful. Mm-hmm. And I didn't care about like the guys anymore. It was just like, it was like a magic bullet I could take to get to the 50K even faster. And I started going to Manny's house like once every 2 days, partially so that I could do the math and partially to do the work. And
how did you do the math? Were you smoking it, shooting it?
No, we would always snort it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And even to this day, I like love even imagining the way it feels going up my nose. Like I loved that feeling. Not to like romanticize math, it's terrible. Don't do it, obviously. Right. But
well, we'll go further in your story and find out why. But yeah, go ahead.
But one of those days, Manny said to me, I'm going through divorce. I really need $5,000 to get a lawyer. And I felt so bad for him. Like I really just. And I was falling in love with him. And maybe it was the drugs I was falling in love with, but it really felt like I was falling in love with him. Mm-hmm. And he was teaching me how to golf on the side, which was really fun. And I just thought, this man is such a good man. I'm just going to give him the 5K. And after I gave him the 5K, he needed 5K more. And then I moved in with him to Simi Valley where I knew no one. And I stopped doing porn because he told me that I was worthless if I was just selling my body. And I believed him. And, fast forward 6 months and, he was hitting me and I was running away and we were doing drugs every night. And that's when things started to get really dark. It wasn't during the porn part. It was really during the drug addiction.
Yeah. And Manny.
And Manny, yes.
Because that was the other half of that for you, right?
Right. Well, Manny was my drug dealer.
Right. So. But also a drug, it sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at first he was such a kind man.
Yeah. And
so, he seemed to understand the kind of the loneliness of existing in the world and not being able to be truthful with people. And I didn't realize that was just because he was like a serial liar. Like he was just one of those people who was always lying to everyone. But he didn't judge me for being that way. He never said, oh, you should really tell blah, blah, blah the truth. It was like, well, yeah, duh, but I can't for complicated reasons. And then my Mormon improv group, I was like doing improv in a Mormon improv group that I thought was going to help me get famous. They found out about the porn. They kicked me out, and then suddenly I had no one.
Okay, wait a second. How did they find out about the porn if they weren't watching it?
Well, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
And I did believe them when they told me that it was a non-Mormon friend who told them, and it wasn't them who figured it out.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like kicked out of the improv group in this parking lot in the valley like 10 minutes before our show was supposed to start. And I was devastated.
Yeah.
And who was there for me?
Manny.
Manny. And that's when I moved in with him, and that's when the violence started.